can we discuss then now your road to the presidency? Can you talk about, after you finished at Clark, what happened next, and sort of where your career started?
Well, actually, Vivian Henderson was pretty much instrumental in the path that I ended up taking there as well. I had been accepted to go to the Ohio State University. I was going to pursue a graduate degree there after having finished my undergraduate degree at Clark. And I kind of hedged a bit and ended up going to Georgia State and getting a master's. And after that, Dr. Henderson asked me what was I going to do next. I said, well, I'm going to Ohio State. He said, is that what you want to do? I said, no, I want to stay in Atlanta. And he said, well, I have a job. You can spend some time over there for a year and decide what you really want to do. So I at that time, presidents had the power to be able to send people over to get jobs without them having to go through a process. So I went over and got the job, which was supposed to last a year, and I ended up staying there 27 years. And from there, I went to Huston-Tillotson to become president.
And what were your degrees in all along the way?
The first degree was in business and economics. The second was in urban planning and administration. I thought I'd found my niche there. In order to stay in Atlanta and get the additional training that I would need to stay in higher education, I had to take an interdisciplinary program at Emory. And that's what I did, which allowed me to take courses at Emory, Georgia Tech, and Georgia State, as well as Atlanta University. So I had the best of Atlanta as it relates to a doctoral program.
And your doctorate was in what, please?
American Studies.
And can you talk a bit about your various roles that you had there and how one thing led to another as far as your role? At that point, would we say it was Clark
College.
Atlanta University?
It was Clark College.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what year was it you started as a staffer?
1973. Long time ago.
And what was your first position?
I was a research associate at a place called the Southern Center for Studies in Public Policy.
And that was on Clark's campus?
That was on Clark's campus.
And so your role exactly, what was it that you had to do?
We did research reports. We got grants from the federal government. The first grant that I worked on was from the city of Atlanta about the housing crisis that we were having at that point and the growth of the city and how they were going to manage that without continuing to displace a large number of African Americans. At that time, Maynard Jackson was mayor. So there was a coming together of our vision for what could happen if we focused on enhancing neighborhoods rather than tearing them down and allowing people to stay where they lived.
So it sounds like your interest in urban planning was lived out.
It was.
Maybe not the way you thought it was going to be?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and so after that position, what was next?
And shortly after I started as a research associate, that I was asked if I wanted to teach a class, and I came in with a master's degree as an instructor and was promoted over time until in the end you end up being a full professor. Along the way I was a department chair of the Department of Social Sciences at Clark. There was a change of administration after Vivian Henderson died. And a lot of turnover took place in terms of the administration. Ultimately, I ended up in the dean's office. And from there, we ended up going into the consolidation of Atlanta University and Clark College. And I was intricately involved in the consolidation, particularly in the area of academic affairs as we blended the undergraduate school with the graduate programs.
That must have been a very challenging time. It was a very unique time.
It was challenging would be the word. You had really two different cultures coming together, not always happily, to preserve the legacies of both institutions. And I don't think that vision was shared by many of the faculty, and certainly not many of the alums as well. But I think over time, both groups have seen the benefits of having the merger of the two schools. They still may not like it, but it is something that has preserved the great histories of Clark College and Atlanta University.
What was your last role at Clark Atlanta as a member of the administration?
I served as Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences.
And is there something there that you particularly are pleased you were able to do? Or?
That had been a particularly challenging role. It was the largest school in the university. About 70% of the offerings were in the School of Arts and Sciences. And it was a broad range of offerings through the sciences, engineering, the liberal arts. All of that was in the School of Arts and Sciences. And there was always activity, challenges in terms of making sure that one group was not seen as being superior to the other, and that resources were being allocated appropriately, both for students as well as for the faculty and staff who worked in those offices at that time.